Welcome back to the TWSN YouTube channel. We're continuing our countdown until the NFL draft with our team-specific 7-round mock drafts. We are on day 21. We're talking about the Chargers. The Chargers have been one of the more interesting teams in the NFL the last few years. A lot of people have been expecting a lot from them, and they just haven't really been able to truly live up to the expectations at this point. They have their flashes, but they have a lot of ups and downs, and they can't really bridge that gap to consistency. They really just have struggled to get over the hump. And then, they didn't make the playoffs because of the stupid Raiders game a few years ago. And last year they made the playoffs and blew a massive lead. But we all know the Chargers are good. They all know they have their quarterback of the future. They all know they have a solid defense. They just have to put it all together. So we're going to look here, and I don't think Skronski's going to be here. No, I mean, he'd be in consideration. Same thing for Wright. But the guys that I'm really considering here for them heavily, Dalton Kincaid and Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson with the Eckler news makes a ton of sense for them. It just wears, I don't know where Bijan's going to fall in this draft. Is he even going to be available at 21? It wouldn't surprise me if he wasn't. Maybe he is. Maybe they skip on him and he's more available even later in the draft. It's very conflicting. I'm not sure what to do with him, and just because of that, I'm gonna go Dalton Kincaid for the Chargers. I think he provides that like that slot explosiveness that they really like. They want to continue to add weapons that can do a lot of things in the passing game for Justin Herbert. I still think they're going to need some speed, but good thing there's plenty of speed in this wide receiver class for them. And I'm going to address one of them right now. I think one of the most underrated players in this draft. I think he's finally getting some love and continue to climb up the draft boards. That's Marvin Mims from Oklahoma. You look at his underlying college stats and his metrics. They'll tell you he's the best wide receiver in this draft class. That's how he's performed. That's how he's performed at a young age, consistently, time and time again. Marvin Mims has been a beast in college football. He's a little smaller, yes, but he produces everywhere he goes. He produced with Caleb Williams, and we expected him to take a step back. And then you know what he did? He did not take a step back. If anything, you can say it was his best year without him as well. We're going to need to look at running backs as well, just because of everything that's happened. And these two guys right here, right away, Devin Achane and Tajay Spears, make a lot of sense for me. And I'm going to go Achane. I really like his running style. He's super patient. He finds the holes extremely well for being a little bit, smaller. He's got all the speed in the world. The Chargers need to get faster. I think he can do that. He's a great receiver. He can do a lot of things for them. We're adding 3 legitimate weapons for Justin Herbert, who already has Mike Williams and Keenan Allen and Trey Palmer too. He's deserves some recognition as well. And I do like A-Chain too, even just because if they do keep Austin Eckler, if Austin Eckler is a guy that hangs around, I still think A-Chain can complement him because they are pretty similar and they can give each other spells. He can learn a lot from him. Obviously, if they agree to a longer-term extension with Eckler, if they draft a running back, it'll be more of the Roshan Johnsons, Dwayne McBride, these bigger bulldozing backs. They also, reignite A-Chain with his former college teammate, Isaiah Spiller. So that's fun there as well. But I think, not that this is necessarily how the Chargers draft is going to start with these 3 positions. But I think you're going to see these 3 positions addressed early. Maybe they sprinkle in a defensive lineman, an edge rusher, or whatever they value more. And obviously, maybe the order is a little different, but I think you're going to see the Chargers add a ton of speed and really focus on diversifying their offensive identity a little bit. The offense has been very good, but it's been very throw the ball down the field to Mike Williams, check the ball down to Austin Eckler. You need to get a little more diverse in that. I think that's why they've struggled in years past. But I think this draft does a very good job of helping them get over that hump offensively. And now we're going to continue to fill out the rest of this roster, back end of it, get some depth pieces. And, immediately they're going to need some help run stopping. None of these guys, Coburn's an interesting run stopper. Oma's a little more tech-ish. Same thing for Morris. He kicks out a lot. I do like these guys. I like these guys a lot, but I'm not sure how they necessarily fit with the Chargers. But I am going to add a pretty athletic edge rusher for them in Isaiah McGuire. McGuire's just really athletic. He's performed well time and time again at Missouri. He's just another athlete. I think with the Chargers, the way they have their team flowering now, it's a lot more power, I'd say. But he kind of comes in and gives you a different look with his more diverse, pass rushing ability in that game. And they need depth at that position because as good as this Chargers defense is, it's not healthy all the time. I think McGuire can help bridge that gap when people do struggle or they're missing time. You don't go from elite production to borderline bad production. He can kind of go help, keep things consistent throughout the entire year, and he can spell some of these guys if you really want to get them some breaks. Um, these 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 defensive linemen, they need one. I really like Dante Stills. He's the guy I'm waiting for. I'm probably gonna pick him at 200 if he's there. But we're not there yet. I don't want to reach. I don't want to make them go crazy or anything. But I'm gonna look at some of these offensive linemen, see if there's anything. Man, there's a couple things, but this is a weird pick for them because there's nobody in this range that I necessarily love for them. Um, wouldn't shock me, I guess, if they really truthfully double dipped at the receiver or even tight end, to be honest with you. I think maybe they could go more traditional tight end after Kincaid. I also, maybe if they do lose Eckler, they want to add another bruiser. Maybe they're already out on Isaiah Spiller, who did nothing his rookie year. There's a lot of different ways they could go. I think corner is even a little bit of an interesting point. Linebackers a little bit interesting as well. I think I talked myself into linebacker. I'm gonna give him Ivan Pace Jr. Ivan Pace is just so productive, and the thing I like about him is he can do a little bit more because he's smaller. He's more athletic. He's a little bit more versatile than your typical linebacker, but he plays hard. He plays fast. He plays violent, and he's just gonna run right through people. And I think that's kind of the Chargers need to address more of that physicality. They need to embrace it more, and they haven't really done that in years past. And I think that's why they have struggled as well. But I think Ivan Pace does a good job with that linebacker room. He complements it very well. He's, like I said, he's violent. He flies around all the time, and he was super, super productive. I mean, I know it's Cincinnati. Cincinnati has not necessarily a bad rap because they've produced Sauce Gardner and some of these great defensive players in the past, but Ivan Pace Jr. was unbelievable. If it wasn't for Sauce Gardner being one of one, Ivan Pace Jr. would be the best defensive player in college that they've had in quite some time. But honestly, obviously with Sauce, he doesn't get that label anymore. But Ivan Pace Jr. was fantastic in college, and I think that's a very good pick for the Chargers down here at 156. And now I'm not going to wait too much longer. Dante Stills, very good, man. He's a tackle for loss machine. He had 53 tackles for loss across his career at West Virginia, mainly in the last 2 years. He just lives in opponents' backfields, and I know it's a little bit later, so there's obviously some questions with him. But at the end of the day, it's just they need that. They really do need that. It wouldn't surprise me if they even added another one here. I really do like PJ Mustipher as that true run-stopping nose. Stills is a nose, but he's a little more athletic. He can kind of win in different ways. So it wouldn't surprise me if they really threw Mustipher down there. I think offensive linemen, there's some guys that they could go with as well. But I think I am just going to double dip there and just give them more of a true nose down at the end of the board, just a high motor guy. He's got the build to be a nose. He's got the motor to be a nose. He's just likes to be around the ball. He's a nose tackle, and they need bodies. They need bodies. They need to be able to stop the run. I think he's got the upside there to do it. But I really do like this draft for the Chargers. Again, these first few picks could go differently, but they are going to address these rooms. Maybe not running back this early. Maybe these positions are swapped. Obviously, we got to see how the Austin Eckler situation plays out. But Kincaid and Mims are fantastic fits for this team. I love AJ and his fit with this team if Eckler is gone. And then Isaiah McGuire, really athletic edge rusher. One of my favorite underrated linebackers in the draft. A tackle for loss machine and a true run-stopping physical nose tackle with a high motor. The The Chargers have to get over the hump. They do. They need to diversify themselves offensively and get a little more physical on defense and run stopping. I think this draft really does help them do that. But if you don't want to miss any NFL draft related news or stay up to date with all draft coverage, make sure you're following on all the TWSN social medias accounts. If you don't want to miss your team specific 7-round mock draft, make sure you follow along here on the TWSN YouTube channel. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys here soon.